What if I told you that some of the most famous scenes in Friends, the ones you could swear were perfectly written, were never in the script? That the actors literally made them up on the spot? Friends didn't become a cultural landmark just because of its perfect jokes. It became a phenomenon because it felt real. It felt like we were peeking into the lives of 6 actual friends. The writers and directors of Friends were brilliant enough to recognize that sometimes a genuine reaction, a flubbed line, or a spontaneous burst of laughter conveyed a truth that no script could ever write. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 scenes you won't believe were improvised. Stick around for number 1. It's the improv moment that surprises every Friends fan the most. We start at number 10, Chandler's drawer accident. During this episode, Chandler is trapped, literally, in Rachel's boss's office. When he desperately asks Rachel to set him free, he yanks one of the drawers open and ends up smacking his head hard against it.
Would you please just...
That hit was completely real. You can see it in his face, that instant flash of pain followed by his trademark sarcastic grimace. It wasn't written. It wasn't planned. It just happened. The best part? Jennifer Aniston's reaction. That little gasp of surprise, it wasn't acting either. She broke for just a split second because the moment was genuinely funny and unexpected. That moment of authentic pain transformed what could have been a typical Chandler in trouble gag into something unforgettable. It's a perfect example of Friends' secret formula. When accidents happen, the cast doesn't hide them, they own them. And in doing so, they turn real mistakes into timeless moments of comedy. Number 9. Joey's desperate dive for the phone. In one of the final scenes of the episode, the phone rings and the answering machine picks up. A woman starts leaving a essential message.
Here comes the beep, you know what to do.
Hi, it's me.
And Joey, who's lying on the couch, immediately perks up. Now, according to the script, he was supposed to get up and run to grab the phone. But Matt LeBlanc took it one step further. Literally. He launched himself off the couch in pure Joey fashion, tumbling onto the floor and knocking over the phone in the process. The fall wasn't planned, but it fit the scene so perfectly that everyone burst into laughter and the directors decided to keep it. Moments like that are exactly why Joey feels so authentic. LeBlanc didn't just play the character, he was Joey, even in his most clumsy, over-the-top moments. Number 8. Chandler's verbal slip. This one's pure Matthew Perry magic. In this episode, Chandler was supposed to deliver a snarky line. Donald Trump wants his blue blazer back. Pretty standard sarcastic Chandler humor, right? But when the cameras rolled, Perry messed up. Instead of back, he said,
I don't know, but Donald Trump wants his blue blazer black.
For a split second, everyone froze. You can literally hear the studio audience pause in confusion. And then, the entire cast just bursts into laughter. Normally, that would have been a cut, a blooper, something that never makes it past editing. But here's the genius of Friends. They decided to keep it. The stumble, the awkward beat, the genuine laughter, it all felt so authentically Chandler. Because, let's be honest, if anyone would trip over his own joke, it's him. That accidental tongue twist ended up being funnier than the actual scripted line. It showed Chandler's neurotic, fast-talking personality better than any carefully written joke could have. Because sometimes the funniest things happen when you stop trying to be perfect. Number 7. My sandwich! The now iconic scream,
My sandwich! My sandwich!
wasn't supposed to be that intense. According to the bloopers, David Schwimmer went completely over the top, and the audience just lost it. They couldn't stop laughing, take after take. Technically, it was too much. Too loud, too dramatic, too Ross. But instead of toning it down, the directors decided to keep it. Why? Because that ridiculous explosion of anger perfectly captured Ross's mental breakdown during that phase of the show.
You threw my sandwich away.
What looked like overacting actually became one of the most authentic moments of the entire series. A raw, hilarious glimpse of a man losing it over a sandwich. The mistake was the character. And in storytelling, that's pure gold. Number 6. You have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance. Here's another gem from Matthew Perry's quick wit. During a casual conversation, Joey says something completely ridiculous, as usual.
I did my first suit when I was 15. No, wait, 16. No, excuse me, 15. All right, when was 1990?
And instead of following the script, Perry just fires back, totally unscripted.
You have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance.
That line wasn't written. It just slipped out. And instantly, the live audience lost it. The timing was perfect, the facial expression was perfect, and the sarcastic delivery was so Chandler that even the writers were laughing behind the monitors. It was the kind of humor you can't write, the kind that comes from an actor who fully is his character. In just one offhand comment, Chandler Bing became defined. It's a reminder that sometimes the funniest moments aren't the ones you write, they're the ones you let happen. Number 5. Chandler's extra splash. In this wild episode, Joey's getting all the attention because a woman named Erica believes he's Dr. Drake Ramore, his Days of Our Lives character.
Drake, you are so talented. Let me see those hands. Oh, these hands, these beautiful hands. Oh, I could just eat them, but I won't.
The gang decides to play along. Big mistake. Then, when Joey tries to confess the truth, Erica, feeling betrayed and heartbroken, makes the first move.
That was...
You told me I was the only one!
After Erica's initial splash, Monica and Rachel emerge and simultaneously douse Joey with their own glasses of water.
Because he pretended to be Drake to sleep with me! And then he told me he would run away with me. And he didn't!
But then, Chandler steps forward and, without missing a beat, tosses a third glass of water directly into Joey's already soaked face.
And you left the toilet seat up, you bastard!
That extra splash, according to behind-the-scenes reports, it wasn't scripted. Matthew Perry simply launched the water as a spontaneous bit, and the cast, especially Jennifer Aniston, broke. You can see it, her shoulders shake, she tries to suppress laughter, and the audience response is raw. It looks like a silly prank, but in the context of Friends, it does something more. Instead of smoothing it over and editing, the team kept it, because that moment of real laughter and real surprise added something you can't write. The sense that these people are having fun. Moments like this remind us that when a sitcom stops being just actor plus script and becomes friends plus camera, the results can be magic. Number 4. Joey's shoulder mishap. In the iconic Season 3 opener, Joey Tribbiani sports a sling after an unexpected injury. While the episode's script humorously attributes his condition to a bed-jumping accident,
See, Joe, that's why your parents told you not to jump on the bed.
the real story is even more surprising. During the filming of the previous episode, the one where no one's ready, a scene required Joey and Chandler to race to a chair. Matt LeBlanc, portraying Joey, attempted a comedic pratfall to reach the chair first. However, during the take, LeBlanc fell awkwardly, leading to a dislocated shoulder. Production was halted and LeBlanc was taken to the hospital. Despite the injury being unplanned, the show's writers decided to incorporate it into the storyline. In the following episode, the one with the jam, Joey's character is seen wearing a sling, and the narrative humorously explains his condition as a result of a bed-jumping incident. This real-life accident not only added authenticity to the character, but also showcased the cast's ability to adapt to unforeseen circumstances, turning a mishap into a memorable moment in the series. Number 3. Janice's iconic laugh. One of the most instantly recognizable sounds in Friends history is Janice's unmistakable laugh. On her very first appearance, Maggie Wheeler bursts onto the screen with that high-pitched, exaggerated chuckle.
Kill me now.
While Janice's character was scripted, the laugh itself was not fully planned. Wheeler reportedly developed it as a spontaneous choice, inspired by the comedic rhythm of her scenes with Matthew Perry, who played Chandler. Working alongside Perry's quick timing and sarcastic delivery, Wheeler needed something to make Janice stand out, a way to assert the character's personality and leave a lasting impression. The result was nothing short of genius. That laugh wasn't just funny, it became Janice's calling card, her unique stamp on the show. The combination of vocal tone, timing, and the exaggerated pauses created a reaction that audiences would instantly recognize and dread for years to come. Wheeler's improvisation elevated Janice from a recurring character to an iconic presence in Friends. The laugh not only complemented Chandler's sarcastic humor, but also added a layer of chaos to the scenes, making every interaction with Janice unpredictable and hilariously memorable.
This is like a reunion in the hall.
It's a perfect example of how a small creative choice, born from observation and timing, can become one of the most enduring trademarks in a sitcom's history. Number 2. Chandler's final line. The end of Friends had to be perfect. After 10 seasons, 10 years, and 236 episodes, everything came down to one final moment. The group leaving Monica's apartment for the last time. The writers had carefully planned everything except the last line. When Rachel asked,
Okay, should we get some coffee?
Chandler responds with that now iconic, slightly smug, slightly heartbroken,
Sure. Where?
"It feels too natural, too perfectly Chandler." And that's because Matthew Perry improvised it. The pause, the look, the dry humor, it was his way of cutting through the emotion with one last joke, the kind that reminded everyone they loved him. What makes it even more powerful is what it represents. That line wasn't just funny, it was a goodbye hidden inside a laugh. It symbolized the entire tone of Friends, finding humor in endings, in change, in growing up. And as the camera panned over the empty apartment, Perry's ad-lib became the final heartbeat of the show. A single unscripted line that closed a decade of television history.
Number 1. Ross says Rachel instead of Emily.
One of the most unforgettable moments in Friends history happens at Ross's wedding in London, when he famously says Rachel's name instead of Emily's during his vows.
Hi, Ross. Take thee, Emily. Take thee, Rachel.
While it might seem like a shocking ad-lib, the truth is a bit more layered. According to behind-the-scenes reports, David Schwimmer had actually made a similar slip in rehearsal for a previous episode. The writers weren't entirely sure how to handle Ross and Emily's storyline at the time, and during practice, Schwimmer accidentally said Rachel instead of Emily in one line. That tiny mistake instantly caught the attention of co-creator Dave Crane and writer Greg Malins. They recognized the comedic and dramatic potential. That small flub could perfectly encapsulate Ross's indecisiveness and lingering feelings for Rachel. Schwimmer delivered it with genuine hesitation, a mixture of shock and panic, which made the moment feel spontaneous, even though it was now scripted. The audience's reaction, gasps, laughter, and nervous tension cemented it as a defining Ross moment. What started as a rehearsal error became a cornerstone of the series, showing how sometimes the most iconic lines are born from pure accidents. It's a perfect example of Friends magic, turning an unexpected mistake into a defining story beat that resonates for decades. Sometimes, the moments we remember most aren't the ones written down on a script. They're the accidents, the spontaneous choices, the unexpected flubs. Friends wasn't just a comedy about six friends. It was a celebration of the unpredictable. Every mistake, every out-of-place laugh, every improvised line was a small victory of the human over the artificial. Maybe that's why, even decades later, the show still feels alive. Because what connects us to these characters isn't their perfectly delivered lines. It's their imperfections, their realness, their moments of chaos that somehow became comedy gold. In the end, Friends didn't just teach us to laugh. It also showed us that sometimes the best thing that can happen in a scene is that something goes wrong. So next time you watch your favorite episodes, keep an eye out for those tiny surprises, the accidents, the spontaneous choices, because they're often the moments that made the show unforgettable. Now, tell me in the comments if you know any other improvised lines or moments that seem like mistakes in Friends. And if you enjoyed diving into these hidden gems, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to catch more behind-the-scenes magic from Friends. See you in the next Couch Bingers.